Okay, next video is freedom of thought and religion. This kind of ties in. I guess you could look at the freedom of speech from the Constitution, but that Constitution is a different day. Freedom of thought and religion, freedom of thought and stuff like that. Basically, you have the right to your own opinion, your own thinking, your own thoughts, independent of an individual or independent of a government. You have your own opinion. So, for instance, like what I'm doing on YouTube, I have my own thoughts and my own opinions, and I'm allowed to express them, and I have the freedom to do so. It doesn't mean you don't pay the price from the repercussions of doing said things, but it's, how to put it, it's, I'm allowed to think and say and feel how I want, and it doesn't matter what people think or say, because it is a form of freedom of speech and everyone has that right. So if you disagree with something I say, you have the right to express that disagreement. It doesn't mean you have a right to take action and create violence, but you have a right to express your own thoughts and your own opinions, and they can be opposite of mine. That's a huge thing for this country. We're supposed to have our own opinions, and we need to all be our own individual. We have to be our own individual. And kind of ties with my last video. I have my own thoughts and opinions of stuff going on, but those are just my thoughts and my opinions. It doesn't mean that they're fact. It doesn't mean that what I say is true. It just means that I have the right to that thought and that opinion, and I have a right to say it and express it. Now, there is a thing of going too far and going to slander and stuff like that, which is why I said I could have been wrong. I admit that I could be wrong, and that could just be me making an assumption. And that's because I don't have any actual facts to prove it. But I was allowed to express my thoughts and my opinions and what I believe to be the case. Now, it doesn't mean that it's fact or true. It just means that I have the right to express that. And that kind of, as I said, that goes in with the freedom of speech on the Constitution. But again, when I get to the Constitution, I'll cover that a little better. So just know, you as an individual have a right to your own thoughts, your own opinions, and your own expression of putting that out there. You have a right to say and think how you want. Whether somebody agrees or disagrees, you have that right. And I will always support that. Number one, I don't care if someone disagrees with me. I have a problem when they disagree with me and they're basically telling me I can't say it. Now, that I have a problem with, because I have a right to say it. But you have to understand there's certain things that you can say and do as an individual, but there's also certain lines. So when you're saying something, the only way you can address it as a fact is if you got the fact to prove it. Otherwise, you have to say you have to explain that you could be wrong. You could, because if you don't say that you could be wrong, if you don't admit that you don't have evidence, if you don't say any of this stuff and don't express that this is just your opinion based off what you're seeing, at that point it kind of moves to slander. if you come out and say something that you think is fact, but you don't have the evidence to back it, you can cross into the lines of slandering. So there's a difference of freedom of thought and expression and stuff like that, and your opinions, and entering into slander. You have to understand the real difference in it. So I kind of wasn't even anticipating any of this stuff, but that's just kind of how it unfolded. So you just got to understand the difference and make the right choices and the right decisions, and don't ever slander somebody, because slandering someone's wrong. You can say your opinions and your thoughts and how you feel and what you think's going on, but you have to express that those are just thoughts and opinions. Until you get actual facts, you cannot state something as a fact. That's just how it is. So, thank you and have a good day.